The city of Flint, Michigan, is still dealing with a water crisis as a result of the city's water source being changed from Lake Huron to the Flint River in a move to cut costs. So the ramification of that decision was lead contamination, lead poisoning, and permanent damage to the cognitive development in many children. There is a class action lawsuit against 27 defendants, but on Wednesday, U.S. District Judge Judith E. Levy dismissed several of the defendants from the case, including Governor Rick Snyder. So, in her decision Wednesday, Levy dismissed at least 6 defendants from the case, including Snyder, the state of Michigan, former Michigan Department of Environmental Quality Director Dan Wyant, Flint Emergency Manager Ed Kurtz, Flint Mayor Dane Wallen, and former Michigan Department of Health and Human Services official Nancy Peeler. With Governor Rick Snyder, she said that the plaintiffs couldn't prove that he was aware of staff emails describing the Flint River as downright scary.
Man, see, dude, so he wasn't aware of staff emails. Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? Isn't he supposed to be he's essentially supposed to be a manager?
Yeah, he's the leader of the state.
He's the leader of the state, so he should he's supposed to be aware of his employees.
Yeah. This is what she wrote. She said plaintiffs have alleged that other defendants involved in the top level decisions surrounding the switch to the Flint River knew of and disregarded risks to the health and safety of Flint's water users, but they have not made those same allegations with regard to Governor Snyder.
So, who is going to be at fault here? Is it going to be the emergency managers that he appointed?
No, because as you saw, one of those that were dismissed from this case was Flint Emergency Manager Ed Kurtz.
Basically, nobody's going to be held at fault because
maybe you can make a case. I'm not saying that I don't believe it at all. I think that Governor Rick Snyder should be held accountable.
And it's a civil case. It's a civil case. Like a criminal
and
case.
I believe there was some evidence that showed there's no way he did not know, right? But the government official that was actually in charge, the one that actually made the decision to switch the water source was the emergency manager. This would have came up for a vote with city officials, but since a state appointed emergency manager was
they seize authority
given to
from
Flint,
the mayor and the city council.
Yes. So that emergency manager, Ed Kurtz, was dismissed from the case. So you're telling me the individual
that made the decision to switch the water
source. To switch the water source to a contaminated river.
I think that
is not liable at all.
And a river that was kind of known to be an industrial wasteland historically. So he made that decision to switch to that source without taking proper protocol and provisions to make sure that water source was safe. Now,
that's disgusting.
We could say the city's protocol in regards to keeping the pipes, clean and safe. You can say that there were problems all along.
Yeah,
you can say that. But I'm sorry, once you take over a city, once you appoint emergency city management, and now the city council and the mayor of the city don't have any say in anything, it is up to that. Again, he's an emergency manager. It is up to that manager to do his research. It's up to them. It's up to them to do their research.
So how could he be dismissed from the case then?
I don't know.
That makes no sense. Of course, okay, so there are other government officials that have been left. But you're telling me, I'm sure that some of these people knew what was going on. I'm certain of it. But you're telling me top dog for the city of Flint that was making the decisions, the emergency manager. You're telling me the one that switched the water source to the contaminated Flint River is not culpable whatsoever?
And see, the thing is, when that emergency manager, city manager was appointed, the people had a problem with it.
Yeah, of course.
And there was a lawsuit filed on behalf of several Michigan residents because they thought that not being able to, choose their officials was a violation of the Voter Rights Act. But guess what?
And they can't make their own decisions.
They can't make their own decisions.
Even vote on it.
They can't even vote on it. So, unfortunately, the U.S. Court of Appeals struck down a lawsuit and upheld the law that they passed. I forgot the name of it. It was like 436 PN something, PA 436. I could be wrong. That was the city emergency city management law that Snyder signed.
Right.
So
look, where we're at right now is that the class action lawsuit is still alive and it's still going forward. So that's the good news. But the awful news is that the key players in this whole situation are not going to be held accountable for their actions. And that's a damn travesty. That's not justice whatsoever.